Good morning. I am here with Dr. Hayden. She is a 13-year special education teacher, and I'm going to be asking her questions about the campus vision. Good morning. I'm going to start off with our first question. How does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Well, the main things that have been happening pretty consistently over time has been using the website to past presidents, future students, kind of giving an idea of what they're doing in their life, whether it be ROTC or whether it be academics or athletics or anything like that. We have a program called CNN with the Good News. It's the CNN Cougar News Network, and they add information in there of the athletes and then sometimes the teachers' achievements that they've gotten. Last year, our principal implemented something called Blocky that our current principal is going to continue, where we recognize students from each discipline who's making achievements within the classroom and outside of the classroom. And those students are combined, and then there's an overall achievement where the community has supported that and given different incentives for those students. And then our principal also had good news at meetings, so you could celebrate, something that was going on in your personal life or your professional life, just so everyone could kind of be aware of what was going on and how we were growing as a community.
How are contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
I think one way that they're effectively communicated is through the use of email. Everyone checks their email. Everybody's expected to check their email, especially for the staff. Now, with the community and students, we haven't done such a great job. Now, this year, they're going to start implementing some social media aspects with Facebook and Twitter. And, everybody's a little leery on that because of what can you get from the community or what can your staff say and how can people respond. But the way they've set it up, it's going to have some, checkpoints in there. And I think that'll be a good way because parents are on Facebook and so are students to let them know what's going on and maybe shed more of a positive light on what's going on at Oster High School instead of the negative stuff that people are seeing. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that's going to be effective. The news network always helps as well. We also have running billboards that acknowledge students and what's going on with our students and what's going on with our faculty and different meetings or different things that are going on with FBLA or FFA and the different clubs within our area.
Do you think the parents will be receptive to the social media?
I think overall they will because, our culture is all about social media now. And so I've seen it be very effective with the athletics so far because that was implemented a little earlier than the Edisto High School website. And so it's been effective with that, several likes, several people joining the page and recognizing and acknowledging that. So I hope that kind of transfers into the from the athletics to the academics as well.
How did the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
Well, overall, our vision is to make sure that we're developing students who are ready for the real world. And I think one thing that we're being pushed to do is to do PBL and things like that, to take a little bit of a risk. And it's okay to fail. I learned not too long ago, fail means first attempt in learning. Mm-hmm. And so as long as we look at that and look at what we can fix to make it better the next time as a group and pulling in your resources, I think risk-taking is an effective learning strategy that we should probably take on a little bit more here. We're always scared to fail, but it's okay to fail, and it's okay to teach our kids what do you do if you fail. And I think that's the biggest part of that. I like how they're kind of involving some STEM things and the career aspects that they go to COPE and get to achieve there. Being able to take those hands-on things and apply them to what a job would have. I think certain teachers do a really great job with innovative thinking. Certain ones are less. They're more of the lecture type person that they're not going to do as much. So I think if they saw teachers being more successful with that, that maybe they would take that risk. But that's something we need to promote a little bit more. Let people share their stories about success in the classroom or failure in the classroom and how they can switch it up. This year, they're going to start implementing some, more observations within the classroom, and that will give us some feedback. We had some last year, and some positive feedback came from some of it. But I think, if they continue to give us more, we'll be more willing to take risk and, develop ourselves even better to be more innovative thinkers and to have our students develop that way of thinking. So I think we're growing in that area. We haven't achieved it. I don't know if you ever will achieve it, but I think we're growing more towards our vision of fostering kids to the next level.
And how do you feel technology plays a role in all of that here specifically at this school?
Well, it's kind of slow at this school with technology, but I think that if we have to provide kids with technology for two reasons. One, it's going to be in their world forever. Another way, I read a book called The I Student and talked about curating, being owners of your data and owners of what you put on Facebook. We have so many people that go on Facebook and just make comments because they think it's free and easy. And then we see it in the school later on, but if we teach them that what they put on Facebook is out there for their jobs to see or anything else, and we teach them the responsibility that they have with Facebook, I think we need to use technology more. We're going to begin to do the one-to-one Chromebooks later on this year. I know in special education is a huge factor for us to promote higher order thinking for our students because they have so many disabilities, but the Chromebooks allows them to have so many accommodations that are harder for me to give each individual student, but through accommodations and things like Bookshare, each one of them can be reading books that are within the general curriculum as needed on their own in headphones, and it's a free asset for us. So assistive technology is huge, especially to get students with disabilities or students who are struggling more access to the general curriculum.
Which in turn would then enhance the campus vision.
Exactly.
How did the campus vision impact morale?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen with the vision that David Dom set in for a couple of years ago and that we followed through the change of leadership was building relationships. He was really big on pushing, not just teacher to teacher relationships, but teacher to student and student to student. And then we slowly have seen that kind of trickle down in the community. I think it needs to be a little bit more. And I'm seeing a bigger push this year with using the community and getting them involved in what our vision is, and that we're just not a school. We're a school within a community, and we need to reach out and depend on each other. And that's, basically we talk about in our vision that we are to be preparing students to be productive citizens, and part of that is a integrated community effort. And with that, I hope to see that increase this year because that's kind of where we're lacking. But I really have seen student-to-teacher relationships get stronger, whether it be they go to the game or they just see each other outside. But they know that teachers are real and that we all can work together if we choose to. And I've seen that be the biggest thing, which is going to impact in the vision for the future for them because of the fact that they're going to have to do it in their workplace. They're going to have to collaborate with people who are older, younger, their peers, people of authority, and as well as that. So.
And how do you feel about the overall morale of the campus?
Ms. Thornpark, please come to the guidance office.
The overall morale of the campus, I would say, is low because we've had so many changes. Our school is on their third AD and their third principal. And like my personal kids are 11th graders. They haven't had stability in their leadership. And so not only do we have to think about kids not having stability in their leadership, but also the teachers. Every principal is different. Every AP is different and what their expectations are. Sometimes that the morale can be low because of a lack of communication. I think that's where we are right now is we have a little bit, there's a lack of communication going on. And I think that is going to increase our morale if we always make sure that we're communicating effectively sometimes we communicate, we don't communicate
Right.
effectively to each other. And so that is gonna, I hope morale increases, but it's always on that tinkering thing. Are we just gonna lose another AP or an AD or a principal next year, because it's been so consistent in our life right now, the change has been. And so I think we want to say we have a good morale, but I can't say that we do because of the change. But I know the teachers that have been consistent, we depend on each other, and we'll continue to depend on each other to hopefully boost our morale or get us through the next day or get us through the next situation until we can understand and get better communication going between top down, I guess, approach.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.